Hi guys, Shelli Pelly, Annie Parker Confidential. Okay, it has been a hot minute since I did my first Q&A a couple months ago, and that was actually a lot on fitness and nutrition because that's a lot of the questions that I got from you. But since then, I've gotten a slew of others that are more personally related that I thought I would just pop on and do a little brief Q&A on a lot of the personal questions that you guys have been asking me. So as always, I love hearing from you guys. So these are the top maybe 11 or 12 that I get from you. And so let's start with number one. Okay, the number one question that I get is Shelli Pelly your real name? And who is Annie Parker? All right. Yes, Shelli Pelly is my real name. I wasn't born with that name. It's a married name. When I first met Oliver, my husband, we were running partners. He asked me to go running. We met at the gym. And after running, we went out to breakfast. He said, do you want to go out to breakfast? And I said, sure, that's fine. So we go and we're having a nice time. And I'm thinking, I kind of like him. He's cute. He's really nice. And on the way back, when he was driving me back to my car, for whatever reason, I just said, what's your last name? And he says, Pelly. And there's like a pause. And I go, you mean like Shelly with a P? And he goes, yeah. And I thought, crap. Well, what are the chances? And however many years later, here we are. So yes, Shelli Pelly is my real name. Annie Parker, I named the brand Annie Parker Confidential. I know it seems weird, but honestly, it's a combination of two female names that I just happen to like. I love the name Annie. I think it sounds warm and friendly and approachable. And I like the name Parker because I think it kind of sounds like a strong, confident name. And so I combined those two because that's kind of how I felt that I wanted the brand to be. I wanted it to be warm and friendly and relatable, but I also wanted it to be strong and confident. And then confidential, meaning like, you know, give me the confidential, give me the 411, because I wanted it to be all about us women connecting and sharing information on things that we all love, like beauty and wellness and style and healthy living and healthy eating and just the things that I really love that I had always shared with all of my friends and girlfriends that I wanted to share with all of you. So that's why I named it Annie Parker Confidential. Okay, the second one is from Maria S. And she says, how old are you and do you guys have any kids? Okay, hi Maria. I'm 53 years old. I think that I said that in a couple different videos. I don't really promote it. I don't make a big, huge deal about it because I kind of feel, I really do think that there's like way too much emphasis put on how old a woman is. And I don't like to play into that. So it's not like I'm embarrassed by it. It's not like I'm, have something about it. I just feel that there's a lot of too much emphasis put on it versus just being who we are. But I'm 53 years old and we don't have any kids. And her follow-up is, if not, why? I love it. Honestly, it just never appealed to me. I have never been into it. I never wanted to have kids. It felt like it would be confining for me personally. I will say that the biggest gift that my mom and dad gave to my sister and I was the gift of being unconditionally loved and the gift of knowing that they wanted my sister and I to be happy people with our lives, however we defined that for ourselves. So there was never any pressure on either one of us to get married, to have kids, to do any of that. It was all about follow your own path and do what makes you happiest. So that's kind of a long way of saying I never wanted them, it never appealed to me, and so we did it. Okay, the next is from Candace from Winnipeg. Shout out to Winnipeg. What did you do before you started Annie Parker Confidential? That's a good question. So I started Annie Parker Confidential 2 years ago. But before that, I spent my entire career in the corporate world. So right out of college, I started out in sales and I worked for a telecommunications company selling long distance services. And after that, I went into software. So I rose up through the corporate ranks in sales and then ultimately holding higher leadership positions as a director of sales, as a vice president of sales, and I ran larger sales divisions in the software industry. And I got to a certain point where honestly, I got to a fork in the road and I had been doing it for so long that I could do it with my eyes closed. And I thought, this isn't what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do here. I don't feel like I have anything else to prove. And I just wanted to take a different route. I was fortunate that I had the ability to just do that. So I did. All right, Sophia from Seattle asks, okay, what is the one beauty product you can't live without? All right, so I had to think about this, and okay, I want to say sunscreen, but my makeup artist said I'm so sick of seeing influencers saying sunscreen's my favorite beauty product. I want to slap them, so I kind of cringed at it. Okay, so when I think of all the damage that we did growing up to our skin, like, do you guys remember putting baby oil on your skin and laying out in the sun? Because I sure did, and one time I fell asleep and I woke up and I mean, literally, I looked like a lobster. And I think I still had like sun damage from that, although I probably had it lasered off at a certain point. Skin is like the foundation to looking good. And we spend so much time and so much money and so much effort protecting our skin and doing lasers and retinols and microdermabrasions and microneedlings and all of that stuff, that the last thing that I want to do is F it up by not putting sunscreen on. So that's the one thing that I do. I could not live without sunscreen. Even sitting in the house, I wear sunscreen because you do get it through the windows. The second one, if I can name two, is a good retinol. I use a good retinol. I just feel that it's really helped to keep the dust off my windshield, which is my skin. So a good retinol. So sunscreen and retinol. Okay, Julia from Santa Barbara. Hey, Julia. Okay, it's on a previous video that you're 53 years old. Yes, I am. How do you not have wrinkles? And as a follow-up, she says, what procedures have you had done to stay looking so good? Okay, well, first of all, thank you, gracias. Secondly, I do have wrinkles. Let me see, if I get up really close, you can probably see. So I get Botox, obviously, but you can see I have like wrinkles on the sides of my skin here, and probably if I do my forehead, I normally do. So I am the firm belief that as you age, you either wrinkle or you sag. Now, of course, you do a little bit of both, but I think that you're more predisposed to either wrinkle or sagging. I'm more predisposed to sagging than I am for wrinkles. So I think that the way my lifestyle has a lot to do with it. So you know that like beautiful skin really, really starts with the way that you eat and the foods that you're putting into your body. So a lot of it has to do with my diet. I eat all plant-based diet. I stay out of the sun. I definitely get a lot of sleep. And then I absolutely do procedures, whether it's halo laser treatment, which I have done, which really helped to kind of generate collagen. It helped to keep the skin nice and smooth. I do microneedling. That has helped. Obviously, I wear sunscreen every day, and I always get Botox. I love Botox. But look, nobody escapes the ravages of time. You can certainly do a lot to keep yourself looking good, to stave off some of the wrinkles and the sagging, and there are a lot of procedures that you can have done too. But I do have wrinkles, but thank you anyway. Okay, Marla from Houston, Texas. Yo. How do you deal with negative comments on YouTube? Okay, so yeah, good question. All right, so when I first started out on YouTube, and this is only a couple years ago, my channel isn't that old, a lot of the comments were like super encouraging, super nice, but you know, it's just gonna happen. I mean, you guys know that there are just like negative, nasty people out there, and you do deal with a lot of negative comments, and you do open yourself up to a lot of that. And yeah, you do have to have a tough skin. I mean, at a fundamental level, you guys, honestly, I just don't give a shit. I really don't. Like, I really feel that if somebody is so nasty, and believe me, there are a ton of them, so nasty that they are literally taking time out of their day to log in, construct a nasty, mean comment, write it out, and hit, yes, I'm posting that. I have better things to do than to engage with them. People like that, they want to engage you, they want your attention, they want your energy. And I just refuse to respond to it. So I really just don't play into it. If it's nasty, I report them to YouTube for abusing the community standards because I don't want them doing it to anybody else. And I block them. So that's how I deal with it. I block it and I don't care. All right, Brittany from Tucson, Arizona says, what is your biggest pet peeve? All right, this is pretty easy for me. My biggest pet peeve are bullies and people who are super judgmental. So you know that on my channel, like I've always said, there are never any judgy eyes. Well, I say that because I don't like judgmental people. It just annoys me. Having an opinion is one thing, but actually taking it to the next level and passing judgment on another human being is just not something that I do myself and that I like to have done. And bullies, it's just a peeve of mine. That's why you'll hear me say, if you're a subscriber on my channel or if you ever comment on my channel, you will never, ever, ever be harassed by anybody and that this is a safe channel. And that's because at my core, I don't like a bully. They're usually interested in picking on people that they perceive to be weaker or smaller than them. And I don't like that. So that's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. Right, Jennifer from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. You eat so healthy. Is it hard for you guys to eat out? And is it hard for friends to eat out with you? Okay, Jennifer, that's actually a really good question. It's not hard to eat out. Okay, so let me back up. If you're going to a steakhouse, yeah, it's probably harder to eat out, but I think I've gotten so used to it that I can always find something on a menu. Like I'm not one of those like super weird, annoying, finicky people that I won't go out to eat anywhere and then I always have to pick the restaurant because it has to be something that I like. I can pretty much find something to eat anywhere that I go. I am vegan, plant-based. Every once in a while, I will eat seafood. So if push comes to shove, I'll just have a piece of fish and steamed vegetables. I don't really feel that it's hard for friends to go out with me because again, what they do is not my business. It's not my place to judge what they're eating or to look at what they're eating because I don't care. It's their life. I love them and I just want to spend time with them. It's not my business how they want to eat or run their life. And so no, I don't feel that it's hard for them at all because we just kind of accept each other for who each other is and we're there to enjoy each other and have fun and talk and engage and have a cocktail and that's it. Okay, number 10, Marilyn from Minneapolis. Hi, Marilyn. And this is also kind of baked into a question that a lot of you give me, which is, how do you do it all and keep up? And she says, videos, product testing, research, blogging, social media, working out, eating healthy. Do you have any help? And building on that, do you do this full time? Okay, that's a good question because I get that question a lot. And I honestly understand it. People will say, so what do you do for work? This is what I do for work. And yes, I do this full time. Between YouTube and editing my videos and creating blog content, posting blogs, I do all of my own social media. I do all of my own graphics. I do all of my own video editing, all of my own filming. I do all of my website management. I probably work about 60 to 65, sometimes 70 hours a week. It is a full-time job for sure. And I understand the question because it seems from the outside looking in that it's just, that it's easy and you're filming and you're putting on cute outfits. And that's part of the job and part of the brand. But it's like a duck floating on water. The duck seems to float nice and smoothly, but underneath it's kind of pedaling and pedaling. But I love, love, love what I do, so it doesn't feel like work. I do look for a work-life balance. I'm a one-woman show just because I'd like to have control over my brand. I like to have control over the videos and the editing so that it has my own personality, that I'm directly engaged with all of you and my subscribers. And I'm not somebody who likes to easily just hand it over and write a check for somebody to do it just because I can. I don't like that. I want control of my brand. And in terms of doing it all, I mean, listen, sometimes I get really tired. My husband says, you're like a rabbit, like you sprint around the track at full speed and then you just go and stop for a little while and then you start sprinting again and then you stop and go. So yeah, I mean, I try and have like a really nice work-life balance. I try to put the computer down around 7 or 8 at night. Now, the caveat to that is that we do have a lot of help around the house for other things. We have people that come in and clean the house. We have a gardener that takes care of the outside. But with regard to just my brand, nope, I'm a one-woman show. All right, and the last one, which I thought was kind of funny, this is from Jesse from Butte, Montana. Do you ever have days where you just chill out and eat junk food on the sofa? Or do you work out, eat salads, and get totally dressed up every day? Okay, yes, I do have those days. And usually it's when I'm editing videos. So I post videos twice a week, and on days when I'm editing usually takes a full day, sometimes a full day and a quarter. I get up, I work out, and honestly, I pull my hair up into a ponytail and I sit on the sofa, which is like my office because I find it more comfortable than my actual office. And yeah, I edit all day. When I go down to my parents' house and they live near me, my dad always has a stash of Cheetos and a big bag of Snickers and Milky Ways. So yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay guys, so those were about the top 11 questions that I've had from you. If you have any more, please always feel free to comment below. And for all things wellness, style, fitness, and healthy living, subscribe to my channel, visit me on the blog at aparkerconfidential.com, and I'll see you on the blog.